Hi Reddit. I've been on Reddit for a while, and it never occurred to me that I should post my stories about odd, scary things that I have experienced throughout my life. I'll first start with one that left an impression on me so much that still, to this day, I can't explain what happened. It happened when I was still very young. I might have been in middle school. For some backstory, I'll say that my mom and I are the first people who lived in our house. Our neighbor had been a longtime friend of my mom's. When we visited her, there was a house next door still being built. This neighborhood was new, and my mom's friend had just moved in. We at first joked that we'd own the house next door so we can be neighbors. Well, the joke soon manifested into reality. My mom had proudly purchased her first home, and we no longer needed to live with family. We lived at the edge of Sacramento, California, bordering a town called Elk Grove. It was a pretty populated place, in a pretty standard Central California town. Yeah, it was farm town, but everything was close, like grocery stores, restaurants, schools, etc. You almost didn't need a car to get around. One night, I awoke from a deep sleep. Something felt very off. I remember getting up to turn the lights on in my room. I returned to my bed and just stayed there, sat up, leaning against the wall, frozen. I had goosebumps and I just kept feeling like something bad was going to happen. I felt sick with this fear. I had no idea what its purpose was. It was an ordinary night like any other. But I will say that my mom had a guy over. She'd been seeing him for a while. But that's the only out of the ordinary thing. I felt surrounded by something. It was as if I could sense something was going to happen. Oddly, I felt like I was being watched or stalked. I would not move from my spot. It felt like hours passed before it actually happened. I'll get to the point. As I sat there, unknown, unrealistic and confusing, fear mounted. Then, a loud growl, roar happened. It felt like I was in surround sound. It felt like it was happening in my bedroom. It felt like I was in a strange vortex of sound. This sound came from everywhere. It was loud and rumbling. I immediately shot up and ran, screaming through the house to my mom's bedroom, where I pounded on her door. They both came out quickly, not asking me any questions, but instead began investigating, checking inside and outside. This is out of character for me. So I imagine their first inclination was someone was trying to get into the house, or that they had already gotten in through my room. They finally asked what happened, and I explained. I woke up, felt really scared, and then this beast-like roaring, as if there was a lion inside my bedroom. To rule out some things, we didn't live near a railroad. I was old enough to differentiate between dog and cat sounds outside, and we didn't live in the country or near mountains, so it's not like there were mountain lions or anything else that could stalk around at night. Maybe coyotes, but that's it. Anyway, they resolved to go back to bed and told me to do the same. I didn't. I couldn't. Instead, I stayed outside my mom's room in the light coming from the porch, shining through the narrow window by the front door. It wasn't until the first sight of daylight that I finally relaxed and went to lay down on the couch. I understand that this is a short story with not much beyond this roaring sound. I figured I'd see what Reddit has to say. Maybe some insight as to what it is I might have heard. I have many other stories of weird occurrences. A lot of them happened in this house. I will post them in the days to come. Until next time.